I'll never forget the day my boss, let's call him Mr. Harrison, completely humiliated me in front of the entire team. It was during a major project presentation. I had poured my heart and soul into this project for months, working late nights, sacrificing weekends. I was confident, I was prepared, and I was proud of the work I was about to present. I started my presentation, and everything was going smoothly. The clients were nodding, my colleagues were engaged. Then, about 10 minutes in, Mr. Harrison cut me off mid-sentence. He stood up, walked to the front, and said, "Let me take over. It's clear you're in over your head." My jaw dropped. He proceeded to present my slides, my data, my conclusions, as if they were his own. He stumbled over key points, misinterpreted the data, and couldn't answer the client's basic questions. It was a train wreck. I just stood there, frozen in shock and embarrassment. After the disastrous meeting, he pulled me into his office. I expected an apology, or at least an explanation. Instead, he blamed me for his failure. He said my preparation was sloppy, and my slides were confusing. He told me I lacked the gravitas for major presentations, and that he had to step in to save the company's reputation. It was a masterclass in gaslighting. I walked out of his office feeling worthless, like all my hard work meant nothing. That night, I couldn't sleep. The injustice of it all was eating me alive. I knew I couldn't let this go. This wasn't just about one presentation, it was about the constant undermining, the credit stealing, and the culture of fear he had created. I decided right then and there that I wasn't just going to quit. I was going to make sure the company knew exactly who Mr. Harrison was. My plan wasn't about revenge in a dramatic, Hollywood sense. It was about truth and accountability. I started documenting everything, every snide comment, every instance of him taking credit for someone else's work, every time he misrepresented facts to senior management. I spoke to my colleagues, the ones I trusted. It turned out I wasn't alone. So many of them had similar stories. There was Sarah from marketing, whose entire campaign strategy he'd claimed as his own, and Tom from finance, who he'd blamed for a budgeting error that was entirely his fault. We realized we were all suffering in silence. We decided to band together. It was risky, but we knew it was the only way. We spent the next few weeks gathering concrete evidence. We collected emails, project drafts with timestamps showing our original work, and even meeting recordings where his stories didn't add up. We built a timeline, a dossier of deceit that was impossible to ignore. We weren't just making accusations, we were presenting a case built on undeniable facts. The hardest part was deciding how to present it. Going to HR felt like a gamble. What if they sided with him? He was a senior manager, after all, so we aimed higher. We found out that the company CEO, Mr. Davenport, had an open-door policy that was supposedly more than just corporate jargon. He was known for being a fair-minded leader who genuinely cared about the company's culture. It was our only shot. We compiled everything into a professional, concise report. We didn't make it emotional. We just laid out the facts, the evidence, and the impact Mr. Harrison's behavior was having on team morale, productivity, and ultimately, the company's bottom line. We showed how his poor leadership led directly to the failed presentation and other missed opportunities. We requested a group meeting with Mr. Davenport, stating it was a matter of urgent importance concerning team integrity and project success. To our surprise, he agreed to meet with us the very next day. Walking into that boardroom was nerve-wracking. Mr. Davenport sat at the head of the table, his expression unreadable. We took a deep breath and began. Sarah, being the most articulate, led the presentation of our findings. We each shared our personal experiences, backed up by the evidence we had collected. We didn't shout or accuse, we just told the truth. Mr. Davenport listened intently, never interrupting. He reviewed the documents we provided, his eyes scanning every line. The silence in the room was heavy. When we finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Then, he looked at each of us and said, "Thank you for your courage in bringing this to my attention. This is not the kind of culture I want at this company." He promised a full, confidential investigation, and he delivered. Within a week, HR conducted interviews with everyone on the team and cross-referenced our evidence. The truth became undeniable. Mr. Harrison was called into a meeting with Mr. Davenport and the head of HR, We weren't privy to the details, but the outcome was clear. The next morning, an email went out announcing that Mr. Harrison was no longer with the company. The sense of relief that washed over our team was incredible. It felt like a dark cloud had finally lifted. In the weeks that followed, Mr. Davenport personally oversaw the transition. He promoted one of our most experienced and respected team members to be our new manager. The atmosphere in the office changed overnight. People started collaborating again, sharing ideas freely without fear of them being stolen. Morale skyrocketed, and so did our productivity. Looking back, I'm so proud of what we did. It wasn't easy, and it was definitely scary. But standing up for myself and for my colleagues was one of the most empowering experiences of my life. It taught me that you don't have to be a victim of a toxic workplace. Sometimes, all it takes is a little bit of courage, a solid plan, and the strength of a team to bring the truth to light. It showed me that good people, working together, can make a real difference. If you're in a similar situation, remember that your work has value and you deserve to be respected. Document everything, find allies you can trust, and present your case with facts, not just emotions. It might seem impossible, but you have more power than you think. Thanks for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one.